Hello, I'm sitting here today with Alexa Joan Wajed, owner of Eat Off Art, a local business here in Western New York. Alexa is a chef,
Yes.
artist, entrepreneur,
Yes. Whole lot of other things.
whole lot of other things. So I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. As we were talking before, we've talked to a bunch of different entrepreneurs, restaurateurs, and your story is certainly very different from all of them. And I just think it's so important to explore different pathways in art, hospitality,
Yes.
and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So thank you again for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me.
Of course. I've asked everybody the same question because I want to know this personally.
Okay.
So this is a great excuse for me to ask this question.
All right.
What kind of dishes do you like? What kind of restaurants do you like to go in? I've gotten
Ooh.
different answers. Some weren't so exciting.
Wow. In terms of restaurants, I like to go to any restaurant for any cuisine I have not mastered.
Interesting.
So, Indian, the way they make their gravies and their curries, Thai restaurants, Burmese restaurants, Ethiopian restaurants, some true Italian restaurants, like, the light sauces, the seafoods, and things like that.
Lombardo's or something.
Yeah, Lombardo's, San Marco on
Oh, yeah.
Kensington is wonderful.
It is.
What dishes do I like to make? Well, I will be honest, I don't cook a lot at home because I have teenagers. But when I do cook, I focus on, I'll say whole plant-based meals. Whole foods, plant-based. And my goal is to make vegetables the star of the plate. That's my mantra. That's what I do daily. That's what I kind of urge people to do in terms of a health reason.
Absolutely.
But when you think about your plate, don't think of vegetables as a side dish. Think of it as your main course, and think of your meat as your side dish.
That is so true. I think the nutritionist in you is coming out there, but it is so current.
Yeah.
Backed by everything we know about nutrition, the meat portion being the smallest one on your plate.
Yes.
So that's very cool. Let me ask you this: you are a chef, you are an artist, you're a computer graphic extraordinaire. I think this is a good time to bring up your website, alexajoan.com.
Okay. Yes.
If you haven't seen this website, you need to go on this website. It is popping. There's so much to see, so much to look at. The recipes are unbelievable.
Oh,
really
wonderful.
excited.
Thank you.
Which leads me to my next question.
Yes.
You have quite a few restaurants that you sort of label as soul food. Tell me, what is your definition of soul food? What does that mean to you personally?
Okay, to me personally, is definitely not what everyone else thinks. For me, soul food is honestly what makes me want to dance or sing in my seat. That's soul food, and it's also food that is literally feeding your soul and feeding your body.
Yes.
That's nutritious for you, that doesn't make you feel full or tired or lethargic. It gives you energy. So for me, that's soul food. 10 years, 15 years ago, it might have been a different definition.
Sure.
But today, with everything that's going on in the food industry, in the health industry, with my own personal health, for me, soul food is definitely something that is just very simple, very flavorful, not a lot of ingredients. That's soul food.
Excellent. I was hoping you would give me that answer, only because that was my take on all of your recipes.
Yeah.
They were all about freshness. The ingredients are just fresh.
Yes.
And they are very different than standard Southern style soul food.
Yeah, and I got that a little bit from, I did a stage in Italy for 10 weeks.
Okay.
And one of the things that I brought out of that was, you don't need a lot of ingredients.
Right.
I was working on my final project, and coming from the States, I'm like, she said use the local fish, use the local ingredients. I'm like, okay, well, I have to make sauces. I have to make sure I make this amazing sauce and put on the fish. And she was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm making you my dish. She said, no, this fish comes from the ocean, right from the sea. So you don't need to cover up the flavor. unless it's frozen,
Right.
or it's old, or it's
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
Just let the flavors present themselves. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
That's amazing. And so this kind of ties into a question I have for you. What's your thoughts about locality? And, you know, sort of, I hate to use the cliche of farm to fork, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the sort
Yeah.
of the local, being a locavore. What's that mean to you?
It's very important to me. It's sustainable for our economy. It's sustainable for families and businesses. When you shop local, you're recirculating your dollars. You are investing in the communities and the locations that you live in. That's important, because if all of your money and all of your ingredients are completely outsourced, you know, when you truly need something, it's not going to be there because everybody's gone out of business. So in order to support our foundation, to support our farmers, to support agriculture, our local businesses, our dairy farmers, our distributors, everything. It's a food system.
Right.
And the food system, unfortunately, right now is in trouble.
Right.
You know, and because many chefs want those mangoes in the middle of fall, or they want the asparagus in the middle of winter.
Figs.
And figs all year round. Why not?
Right.
No, we need to be shopping locally and seasonally. One, the food is better
Right.
when it's in season and when it's local. You know where it's come from. You can forge relationships with local farmers and local butchers, and you know, anybody raising your meats. Have a conversation with them. Figure out what their business is all about. Think about their work ethic and how they treat their animals or how they treat their produce, and then that's going to make your dish even better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think about, you know, a lot of restaurants and chefs are sort of have awoken to this,
Yes.
these concepts and ideas now, but I think of Carmelo's in Lewiston that has been sort of doing it a little bit longer
Right.
than anyone else around here. And sure, the menus change, but you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of squash on the menu in the fall, but it is
But
so
that's
much,
what it is, right?
so much better. Yes.
You
yeah.
need 20 different ways to cook cabbage.
That's
because
right.
that's available from, you know, October until
Right,
March.
and then pairing your beverages that way too,
Oh
and
my
aligning your
gosh.
beverage program with that sort of locality is awesome.
Yeah, and we have so much to choose from now.
Yeah.
You know, from the gamut, wine, you know, fruits, vegetables, everything. We have so many purveyors to choose from.
Yes,
It's really good.
it's a fact. So, your prints and your work, it's so electric. You know, even though your pictures are your food, and like I already mentioned, your recipes. There seems to be so much inspiration in your website and in your work, and the types of things you're doing in the community and the outreach and community education I see all over across your website. What keeps you inspired? Like what?
That's an interesting question. My husband hates when I say this, but I'm kind of at my third or fourth chapter in my life, so I've kind of gone through the corporate role of working for someone else, of being paid by someone else, of making sure my words align with someone else. And I'm in my season where it's very important for me to share my own voice, and it's very important for me to be me. We don't find that a lot, and I just discovered or allowed myself to be an artist only 2 or 3 years ago. Very, very new for
Wow.
me. It's not something, it's something that I've always done, but I'm always like, oh, an artist makes art, puts it up on the wall, and you know, that's an artist. I was never an artist, but I allowed myself to call myself an artist. I allowed myself to use my voice. I allowed myself to be creative and express myself creatively. And I have 2 children, and I want them to be comfortable in who they are, and comfortable in their own creativity, and comfortable with their own voice. So
Right.
it's important that I
Model that behavior.
I model it, and I do that. So that's my inspiration, is just to be me. And I'm surprised at, you know, how many people notice it, and how many people comment on the fact that, wow, you know, I was happy to see you do this interview because it inspired me to do another interview that I've been holding off for the last 6 months. And, you know, allowing myself kind of allows other people to be themselves in a strange way.
No, it makes perfect sense. It does make perfect sense. So now you're doing this, and you've only recently gone out on the limb and declared yourself an artist, and certainly you are an artist. And here at the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute, we study culinary arts, and it's been a little siloed as far as what the career paths are.
Yeah.
What would you tell the students here? We're going to all see this.
Wow. That's a very interesting question, because I went back to culinary school back in 2014. I started and got my bachelor's degree in hospitality management back in '99 when I graduated.
Wow.
So I had a lot of world experience prior to getting my culinary degree, so I was had a bit of an advantage. But in terms of culinary arts, the possibilities are so great. You know, whenever we think about culinary arts, we only think about food, and all the students, all the people I got to be in the kitchen. I got to be an executive chef. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. I get that, because it's wonderful to be in that position, but there's more than just that. Many times people love doing things so much, and it becomes their job, but then they get burned out.
Right.
Then they don't know what they love anymore.
Right.
So, what I say is explore the different facets of culinary arts and of this industry. So you have logistics, you have food distribution, you have designing kitchens, menu design, supervision, management track. You don't always have to be behind the counter in your 9-to-5 job or 3-to-10 job or overnights, whatever.
Right.
But maybe you want to, on the side, maybe do some personal chef, things where you can use your own creative side or your creative voice. Because many times if you are in the executive chef position, you're actually just, regurgitating what somebody else views as something awesome.
Right.
And you don't always have that opportunity to use your creative voice. So, they're also, not just restaurants, but country clubs or hotels or hospitals. Literally so many different things that you can do with culinary arts. Right. You can live on a cruise ship. Well, I don't know so much anymore, but
yeah, not even. It's not recommended. It's not
recommended to be on a cruise ship.
No.
But really, sky's the limit. I am a personal chef. I focus on small to medium-sized parties or businesses. Sometimes I'll do meal prep work for people.
Right, I saw that on your website.
Yes, people that don't want to cook at home.
Huge. Right.
Can't cook at home. Because there's so many health issues and health disparities, people are trying to focus their meals on, being aware of, diabetes or health heart conscious. Those are some of the things that are needed now. Doctors are now prescribing specific meals for people that are ill.
Interesting.
So there are so many opportunities, and not just cooking the regular food or the food that you'll see, mostly highlighted, pastas, breads, pizzas, and things like that. Expanding to, vegetables, expanding to other types of dishes that are health conscious is a great opportunity.
Wow.
I know that was long for your answer.
It was good.
But
Everyone, Alexa Joan Wajed, amazing entrepreneur, eat off art, or you can find Alexa at AlexaJoan.com.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was an honor talking to you today. I love everything you're doing.
Thank you very much. I'm excited about it. It's fun.